Judge, you ready?
Hold on a second. Hi, Miss Holly. I
Hey,
mean,
Judge,
Miss
how
Bridgewater.
are
Hi, PD Kim. Haven't seen you in a while.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Good morning, Your Honor. Good
Welcome. Welcome. And let's see. We're ready to go. I think we've got everybody. Okay. Um, all right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Judge Mincy, and we're going to begin our Fulton County State Court Expedited Accusations calendar. This is a calendar for cases in which individuals have recently been arrested and charged with certain misdemeanor offenses. Soon after the arrest, the Fulton County Solicitor General's office has already accused the cases of the offenses brought against them, and the cases have been bound over to the Fulton County State Court. Nevertheless, this will usually be the defendant's initial appearance before a state court judge, so we are able to handle several matters, including arraignment, and a possible plea offer if one has been made by the state at this juncture. Our SAP reset date is
April the 3rd.
April 3rd. All right. I also want to begin by reminding the defendants on this. Well, let me first remind everyone that this whole entire proceeding is being recorded as well as live streamed on YouTube, so govern yourselves accordingly. I want to also remind the defendants on this calendar that you have certain constitutional rights. The first being that you have a right to representation. So you should know who your attorneys are by now and have spoken to them. Also, I want to remind you that you do have a right to remain silent. Remember that anything that you state about the facts and circumstances or the occurrences of your case can and will be held against you. The state is here and they're listening. So again, follow the lead of your attorney. All right. And who do we have first, deputies?
Position number 2.
Okay. That is 25 CR 001466A. Ernest, is it Coer? COER? Charged with 2 counts of criminal trespass. Pre-trial.
27. He got quite a bit of probation violations. 2015 criminal damage to property, second degree conviction. Did you get my email?
Just now, getting ready to print.
The levels on there. That's it.
Oh, I see it. Okay, thank you. State.
Yes, good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
The facts on this case allege that on March 19, 2025, Officer Carlton responded to a report of criminal trespass at the Chevron service station located at 1722 Campbellton Road, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia. The officer spoke with a Chevron employee who stated that the defendant, Mr. Coer, entered the property and refused to leave despite being asked multiple times. Mr. Coer has been previously criminally trespassed from this location on multiple occasions, the most recent one being October of 2024. The state's recommendation is a bond of $1,000, 500 for each criminal trespass count. And there'll be a signature bond through pretrial with conditions to stay away from the Chevron service station located at 1722 Campbellton Road, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. The reason for the recommendation is the fact that the defendant has been criminally trespassed on the same Chevron multiple times. He does have quite a few of probation violations. And so the state is asking for $8,000 signature bond through pretrial.
Well, I thought you would not have been asking for a signature bond, but let's see what, is it your case, PD Kim or McLean?
Yes, Your Honor. This is my case, and
Okay.
I have no objection to a signature on bond through a pretrial level 1 or whichever level it is appropriate. Yes.
Well, I'm concerned with his history. 27 cycles and too many probation violations to count. I don't know that I agree with a signature bond, to be honest.
He is actually right now getting disability checks, and he's not going to be able to pay for any kind of bond. So I think a signature bond is very appropriate, Your Honor.
What are his connections to Georgia, or what are his?
He was born and raised here. He resides with his brother and sister. I do have his brother's name and number, and also his sister's number as well. I'm trying to make an arrangement for them to come and pick him up. He will stay out of that Chevron location. He does actually clean out the trashes there, but I guess he should not be doing that anymore.
All right. I will give him a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1,000 on each of the charges. Level 2. And stay away, please, Mr. Core, stay away from the Chevron at 1722 Campbellton Road. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. That'll be it.
Thanks, Your Honor.
What do we have next?
Position number 3, you good, sir?
They have a seat on in a blue chair.
Ms. Gilliard, come on, ma'am. Yeah.
All right, this is 25 CR 001464Y. Trinicia Gilliard, charged with 2 counts of criminal trespass, 1 count of theft by taking. Pretrial.
25 on probation for theft by taking trespass. It's 25 CR 000765Y. That was as of February. Also on probation for theft by taking 23 CR 008012Y. 2024 probation, 2024 FTA, 2024 trespass NOLO, 2015 failure to appear, 2014 theft of services conviction, 2012 trespass conviction FTA,
Okay,
2010 burglary in the first. I'm sorry, burglary in the
got it.
first offender. Yeah, that's it.
All right.
Yes, Your Honor. This is also my case. The
Mhm.
facts allege that on March 19, 2025, around noon, officers were dispatched to Georgia Tech. The exact location is 965 Hempville Avenue, Atlanta, Georgia, in regards to a female criminally trespassing. The defendant was observed by video surveillance entering the Nanotech building at Georgia Tech and removing a wallet which belonged to Elizabeth Senior. She is the victim from an office locker. She was then observed removing cash and a Snap Fitness card from the wallet. She discarded the wallet in a trash bin as she was exiting the building. The victim later on found the wallet in the trash bin, but according to the victim, approximately $70 and her Snap Fitness card were missing. Additionally, the defendant was observed by video surveillance entering the Georgia Tech Police Department building. She entered a room and rummaged through personal items of the officers. When the officers arrived, they found the defendant sitting in the Georgia Tech Police Department lobby area, and then she was placed into custody. The defendant has the two previous arrests by Georgia Tech Police for criminal trespassing, and she was actually issued a lifetime ban from campus on February of 2025. The state's recommendation is a total surety bond of $2,500. That's $500 for count 1, $1,500 for count 2, and $500 for count 3. To stay away from Georgia Tech campus, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. The reason for the recommendation and why we're asking for a surety bond is the nature of the incident, the fact that she has the 2024 criminal trespass case that she pled nolo to, a 2024 probation violation, as well as prior convictions for theft-related crimes.
All right. Edie Kim? You're on mute.
My client, Miss Gilliard, was born in New York. She is 48 years old and she has been homeless for a few years. She was going program after program, Gateway, Safe House, Viewpoint, a different program right now. She says currently she is going through another Viewpoint, so to speak, program right now. And I am going to ask a social worker to have a visit with her for BHET and also housing resources. She does not have any job, no children, no relations. I believe that she cannot afford any bond at all. Even $500 bond will be no bond for her. So we would like to request for signature on bond through pretrial level 3 and let her stay away from that Georgia Tech property, Your Honor.
I think again, I'm just not impressed with the history, although I understand the challenges the defendant may be having. But she won't stay away from Georgia Tech. So I don't know what we have to do for her to do that. I'm going to go with the surety bond, and I will make it a $2,000 surety bond, 500 on each of the trespass, and 1,000 on the theft by taking. She is to continue to stay away from Georgia Tech. She has a lifetime ban anyway, but stay away from Georgia Tech. No further contact with the victim in this case. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond.
Thank you.
That'll be it.
Position number 6.
Okay. This is 25 CR 001459Y. Todd Hill, charged at 1 count of stalking, 2nd count terroristic threats and acts. Pretrial.
9th arrest. We got an open case out of Banks County. Battery DV. Harassing phone calls in violation of family violence order. 2 of those. And an open trespass as well. That's all.
Yes, Judge. This is a very serious case. We're asking for $5,000 cash bond on that stalking charge and a $2,500 good bond on that terroristic threats for a $7,500 total split bond with conditions no further contact with Wendy Smith, as well as to stay away from 9400 Roberts Drive in Sandy Spring. That's the Mary Hall Freedom Village complex. I want to start by reiterating that history. He has an open case of battery family violence from 2022. From 2023, harassing phone calls and violation of a family violence protective order. And then again in 2023, a violation of a family violence protective order. And now he's here for stalking. This defendant is the ex-boyfriend and father of the victim, Wendy Smith's child. On February 21st, he showed up at the Mary Hall Freedom Village complex, which is a rehab facility where the victim was staying, and he demanded and threatened that she and their child leave with him. She specifically chose this location because the locations are supposed to be highly confidential, so she does not know how he found out she was there. Now, on the next day, the 22nd, she was walking outside and was accosted by him again, with him saying, "I will spray paint every vehicle in this parking lot if you don't leave with me. And if you don't leave with me right now, I'm going to bash your head in." Please note there was a massive tire slashing at the location on the 21st, of which he is a suspect. He's not charged with that today, but he was there during that time. The Mary Hall Freedom Village has had to relocate this victim for her safety and for confidentiality. We did attempt to contact her, but not surprisingly, she is trying to stay hidden because she doesn't want to be contacted by this defendant. So, based on the horrible history, based on the facts in the warrant, I do believe she is the victim in all three of those cases out of Banks County. We're asking for a $5,000 cash bond on the stalking, a $2,500 good bond on the terroristic threats for a split bond, with absolutely no further contact with Wendy Smith, and to stay away from the Mary Hall Freedom Village.
All right, PD Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 39 years old and he was born and raised Commerce, Georgia. After his father passed away, he has been with his mother, and his brother is currently residing in Florida. He does have a really good job right now. He works at battery commerce industry, and he does have a GED. Your Honor, he denies the allegation, and he thought his son was kidnapped, and he is going through a legitimation process to make sure that he has a contact with his 4-month-old son. And we would like to request for signature on bond, but if Your Honor is not inclined to give him a signature on bond, $5,000 good bond. Cash bond is way too excessive right now. He cannot afford $5,000 in cash. Um, that's what we ask for, Your Honor.
All right, we do take, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Your Honor. I believe that pretrial service level 2 is appropriate. So that's where we are right now.
All right. Well, we take domestic violence very seriously, especially repeated domestic violence. And you all probably know my stance on it is once you violate, then, there's no turning back. And certainly I'm going to give him a cash bond so that he can understand that he's got to stay away. And he hasn't legitimated the child yet, so he doesn't really have any rights to that child or to visitation at this point until that goes through, if it does. And I guess ASG Tucker was being generous to give him a good bond on the terroristic threats. I don't really see why I would do that, honestly. So I'm going to give him a $7,500 cash bond, cash on both, $5,000 on the stalking, $2,500 on the terroristic threats. Because this woman sounds like she's terrified. So $7,500 cash bond, no further contact with Wendy Smith or their child at this point, because I don't want him coming around under the guise of I've got to see my child. Stay away from 9400 Roberts. I don't know if that was Lane or Street. The Mary Hall Village, Mary Hall Freedom Village. Is that what it's called? ASG Tucker. I may have gotten it back.
Yes, Judge, at 9400 Roberts Drive.
Roberts Drive. Okay. And just stay away from there. He is to have no further contact, which means staying 2 football fields away from this victim and her child. Do not contact her via email, cell phone, or any other means, not through third parties. And if he violates again, if he gets out, he'll still be here in the Fulton County Jail. So that's my ruling. I'm sure your attorney's not going to want you to ask a question.
Mr. Hill, you have a right to remain silent, unless it is directly related to the bond. I strongly recommend you to stay silent.
All right, thank you.
Position 1, Mr. Berry.
This is a conflict case, Your Honor. This happened at the jail, and the alleged victim is the one that PD office is representing.
Oh, okay. Is Miss McLeod, do we have her being called or in tow?
It was Dennis Murphy. He's there.
Oh, there he is. Okay. All right, this is 25 CR 0014485, Darius Berry. And he's charged with 1 count of simple battery, pretrial.
7 total. He's been in custody since 2023 for some felony charges.
Judge, I'm sorry.
You can go.
Oh, go ahead.
Your Honor, my client's indicated that he just finished up a trial where there was a mistrial declared, so he's still in custody on felony charges. As to this misdemeanor, we don't know too much about it, and I was just appointed to the case today, so I just wanted the court to consider a signature bond, given that he's already got those other holds.
Mm-hmm. I see that.
And given the time frame, I really didn't know much about the case. Neither did Mr. Berry.
Mm-hmm. This states that it happened February the 20th of 2025. Is that the correct offense date?
Yes, Your Honor.
ASG? Uh-huh. Tell me just a tad about it.
Then I guess it would probably be a jail incident.
Yes, Your Honor. Detention officer Hitson was conducting feeding. He saw the defendant, Mr. Berry, and the victim, Mr. Atkins, arguing near the water cooler. And before the officer could intervene, the officer observed the defendant strike the victim with his hand.
Okay. So he's arguing with another inmate.
Yes,
Your Honor.
Judge, and I believe my client was provoked almost to the situation, but for what little I know is that he was spat upon by the other gentleman, and that at the time even the detention officer notified Mr. Berry that he was not being charged with anything. So I guess that's why we're saying it's a surprise now.
After reviewing the body camera video, they didn't see any spitting.
And yeah, I'm looking at this. The charges were mistrial out of Judge Leffridge.
Hmm.
They just put the order in today
Mm-hmm.
from what it looks like.
Okay. All right. I will give it a signature bond, a very high one. $7,500 signature bond. And with the mistrial being put in, you don't know yet whether they're going to retry, but he doesn't have a release order yet, I'm assuming.
That's correct, and I'll have to talk to Mr. Berry about who his PD is, so I can reach out to them.
All right, I will reluctantly give a signature bond through pretrial because isn't that one of the offenses?
The
Simple
PD,
battery, or is it just DV battery?
I think it's DV. I'm not sure though.
Yeah,
I
it just
think
has
it's
to be
DV.
DV, but it's not this one.
It's not. There's no relationship here.
Right, so this one can come through the jail. $7,500 signature bond through the jail. And he is to stay away from the jail. How about that?
Yes, Judge.
Don't come back to jail for anything. And no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And that will be the order of the court.
Appreciate it, Judge, and I'll have an order to you tomorrow, first thing in the morning.
Okay, Miss Holly, you gonna get him for that?
Let me ask you this, Judge. So this is, I'm writing up a bond as we speak. So
Okay.
7,500 SOB through the jail. Is there any contact with this Calvin Atkins?
Oh, and I'm sorry. Thank you. No further contact with the victim, Calvin Atkins.
Okay. I have an order, Mr. Murphy, for the judge to sign.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you.
Number 11, Royal.
You said what number?
11. This is 25 CR 001465B. Breon Thomas, charged with 2 counts of simple battery family violence.
I'm sorry, this is Mr. Royal. I'm sorry.
Oh, wrong one. Hold on.
He's 10.
$25 CR 001461F. Mr. Royal charges 1 count of theft by shoplifting.
I'm sorry. 19 total. You got an open burglary, 2nd degree, possession of tools, theft by taking. It's 23 SC 186753. He has FS charges for robbery and ag assault. 2023 probation, 2009 carjacking conviction, 08 FTA. I'll go check on the felony bond.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
It looks like he was on first appearance yesterday. He's got a $68,000 bond and an ankle monitor requirement. As a result, that's a robbery and aggravated assault plus some other charges. It's actually the same incident location, Your Honor. This is an incident from March the 14th of 2025. The shoplifting occurred on that date at about 5:20 at the TJ Maxx there at 1 Buckhead Loop. An employee made a report of the shoplifting. The defendant was witnessed and he was captured on surveillance, taking a duffel bag and some clothing and leaving the store without paying for them. The total value was about $50, Your Honor. Police were able to identify him because on the 18th of March, he came back to the location and committed an armed robbery. And he was identified watching the surveillance video and with witnesses at the location. So he has this open aggravated assault and armed robbery for robbery he committed when he came back after this shoplifting that is in front of you today. He does have a federal carjacking conviction. You did just hear that he's also got an open 2023 burglary out of Fulton County. We're asking for a $2,000 surety to stay away from the TJ Maxx at 1 Buckhead Loop and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, Your Honor.
All right. And whose case is this?
This Thank you. Mr. Royal has went to the 10th grade at the Destiny Academy in Ellenwood, Georgia. He has worked at Publix in the bakery in the past. He's currently unemployed at the moment, of course. And, Your Honor, he asked the court to set the lowest bond possible appropriate to the situation. We would ask the court to consider a signature bond because it is 1 count misdemeanor, but he nonetheless asked the court to set as low as it possibly can. And he realizes, of course, he's got the other bonds to make. Thank you.
I will order $1,000 surety bond. No further contact, I guess, with any employees there, but certainly stay away from the TJ Maxx at the Buckhead Loop. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond.
Thank you.
Mhm.
ACDC can go ahead.
I'm sorry?
Good afternoon, Judge. This is going to be position number 9, Ms. Parham.
All right. It's 25 CR 001458Y, Deanna Parham, charged with 1 count of simple battery, family violence. Pretrial.
Third arrest. 2023 trespass dismissed. 2022 terrorist threats dismissed.
Okay.
Yes, Judge, we'd be asking for a $2,000 surety bond with conditions no further contact with Tamala Franklin and to stay away from 2991 Middleton Road in Atlanta. The victim is this defendant's mother and they lived together. There was an argument over groceries, which led to the victim spitting on the defendant, so the defendant then slapped her across the face. The victim then had to grab a steak knife to defend herself, threatened to stab her if she ever slapped her again, and there was an independent witness who confirmed these facts. We did attempt to call the victim. We were unsuccessful. If we could sound for Tamala Franklin in case she found the Zoom link. But for those reasons, we're asking for that $2,000 good bond with conditions no further contact and to stay away.
All right. Is Tamala Franklin on the Zoom? Tamala Franklin. I don't think we have anybody else on today. All right. PD McLean.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would note that the independent witness in the police report, the defendant, Ms. Parham, called the police. They interviewed her first, mom second, and the independent witness third. And the independent witness did indeed confirm that the spitting that started everything was on purpose and not accidental. So, Your Honor, we'd ask for a signature bond. She is a graduate of Douglas High School. She's now taking courses at GSU Early Childhood Education. She has been a patient care assistant for over a year. We would ask the court for a signature bond in this situation.
Do you have somewhere else to go live?
She will find one.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 'Cause I think, well, this happened on the 18th. We want to make sure there's certainly been some cooling down. From the situation. All right, I'm going to order a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, level 1. And with that signature bond, I'm going to order a stay away from 2991 Middleton Road. You can have a one-time police escort to go there to get your personal belonging. Make sure you arrange it with the police so that they can escort you. No further contact right now with your mom, Tamala Franklin. Don't contact her in any manner. Stay 200 yards away from her. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And through pretrial, I'm going to have you to take a 2-day anger awareness course. It's free through pretrial. All right? All right. Good luck to you.
Position number 12, Ms. Workman. Mm-hmm.
This is 25 CR 001463G, Mykesha Worthman, charged with 1 count of driving while license suspended or revoked, no insurance, improper erratic lane change, and possession of open alcohol container. Pretrial.
Hold on. Okay. She got an open suspended license. 2021 DUI dismissed and wanted out of Cobb County.
Okay.
Your Honor, this is my case. This is actually an incident from the 13th of December in 2024. Close to 2 a.m., police responded to a single car accident at around 845 North Central Avenue. This is Hapeville. On scene, there was a witness who reported observing the vehicle the defendant was driving leave the lane of traffic and strike a tree. The vehicle was upside down when police arrived. The defendant in front of you was made contact with by the police. She reported that she couldn't hear and she needed to be extracted from the vehicle, and that was done. She was taken to Grady. There was an open Mike's Hard Lemonade in the vehicle, along with a bunch of Amazon boxes. It was noted that the defendant had a suspended license since 2021, and the vehicle she was driving was uninsured. She also had an active failure to appear out of East Point. Warrants were taken out the same day, Your Honor, and she was taken into custody yesterday, March the 19th. We're asking for a $4,000 surety, no driving without a license, registration, and insured vehicle, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
So she wasn't taken into, you said taken into custody, can't talk, taken into custody at the time of the incident. And
She was
then
taken to the hospital, I believe, and then she had to go deal with the failure to appear that she had, but I'm not sure what the time lapse is about.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. PD McLean.
Thank you, Honor. Makisha Worthman is 33. She went to Krim High School. She has had jobs delivering. I guess that would, she's delivered stuff in the past, Your Honor, but she's got a good address on Morning Dew Way, Powder Springs, gets good mail service there. Under these circumstances, we would ask the court to give a bond that's as low as possible, including a surety bond, a signature bond, if that is at all possible. But if not, Your Honor, then a $1,000 surety. She does have relatives that will try to help her out. Thank you.
All right, I understand these are all driving offenses. I don't know if she has the alcohol problem or not. So I may require to take some AA classes, but I will give her a $4,000 signature bond. And that will be a signature bond through the jail. And on the driver's license charge, that will be $500. No insurance, $500. $500 on each of the charge. I'm sorry, and take that back. I didn't add up that correct. Let's do $1,000 on the driver's license. And then $500 on the other. So that'll be what, $2,500? Right.
Yes.
Your Honor,
2,500.
she's got a current failure to appear and a warrant from 2022 out of Cobb County. I don't think that makes it so she's eligible for a SOB through the jail.
So it had to be through pretrial.
Yes,
All right.
ma'am.
So
Well, the
we'll do,
FTA got to go through. What you mean?
Isn't a FTA within the last period of a year or so make her not eligible for through the jail? That was my
I think it's
understanding.
4 years. If it's FTA in 4 years, then yeah, can't get an SOB jail.
okay.
Well, she got a hold of Cobb. Judge, it's on you.
It's for a failure to appear. That's
Yeah.
been out since 2022.
Okay. So she's not going to show back up, huh?
I don't
No,
know.
she intends to, Your Honor.
Well, I know, is Cobb coming to pick her up? I wonder.
Hold on for a minute. Let me see something.
Okay.
Anna, what's the date of the last arrest? I didn't make a note of it.
My information shows that she was arrested on the same date for this case for a false statement. I'm not sure where that's out of. I don't have any documentation of that, but I do see the warrant out of Cobb County, specifically Marietta, issued March the 9th of 2022 for failure to appear and the hold.
So she ain't been arrested since 2021.
You got it.
Okay, Judge. Whatever
Okay.
you order.
All right. Let's do the 2,500 SOB pretrial per judge.
And if she don't show up to pretrial when she get out of car, warrant gonna issue. So she coming back.
Right. So explain that to her, Mr. McLean.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll do so.
All right. And that'll be a level 1. And no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. No driving while on bond unless she has a proper license, insurance, and tag. And I think that'll be it.
Gonna take that shot. Position number 11, Thomas.
$25 CR 001465B. Breon Thomas charged with 2 counts of simple battery family violence. Pretrial.
Fifth arrest, 2019, got 2 FTAs. 2019 battery conviction. Went to felony earlier for possession of cocaine, 5,000 good. That's it.
Your Honor, that's my case. The defendant actually called the police yesterday from his residence trying to make a claim of harassment against the mother of his child. Her name specifically is Taron Drew, Taron. When police arrived on the scene, they realized he had an active warrant for a simple battery against her that had happened earlier this year in July. And he was picked up. And when he was searched into incident to arrest, he was found with a felony level amount of drugs on him. So he had a case in felony court for that possession, and he's got this case, which was an active warrant from July. On July 30th of 2024 at about 8:30 in the morning, police responded to a 911 call made by Ms. Taron Drew's mother. They located to apartment B312 at 2500 Center Street. That's the Etheridge Court Apartments. A report was taken by an officer and a DV investigator followed up, Your Honor. The victim spoke to police on scene and said that the father of her children had nowhere to go. And she was going to go to a family cookout and graduation. And so she said, come on over and take care of the kids and I'll go to this thing. When she was getting ready to leave, he informed her that he wasn't going to allow her to go. She said, okay, well, you can leave. You know, you don't need to be here. That's fine. And so when he went out the door, she closed it behind him and this angered him. He came in through the window. So he had exited the location. He got angry. He came back in through the window and he grabbed her by her hair and struck her. So he's charged with 2 simple batteries. She reported that he grabbed her by her hair and dragged her around in the apartment. At one point, she grabbed some scissors and was trying to get away from him. She told police she might even have hit him with the scissors, but she couldn't tell because he was behind her, kind of backing off every time she swung at him and continuing to pull her around by her hair. She was able to flee from him and call her mom, and her mom is the person who called 911. The defendant had fled when police were there, but this was also done in front of their 3 children, Legacy, Chosen, and Chance. There are 2 prior reports from June and from April of 2024 regarding violence against the same victim that she made. We did have a chance to speak with her today. She reports that she and the defendant are not in a relationship and they don't live together, but they do share those children. She confirmed what had happened and said that she believes she sustained some injuries during the initial assault that we're reporting on today in July. She just can't remember. She said that the defendant was violent with her when he was arrested for his felony counts on the 18th of March. And yesterday, before this police report was made, on the 18th, He also climbed through her window at the same location and stole some of her belongings. And that's actually why she went to his apartment to get her things back. He called the police, and that's when it was found out that he had this active warrant. Ms. Drew also reports that since he's been arrested, she's been getting threatening phone calls from his family. And I would note that one of the prior reports from this year includes his family threatening her with firearms. She's asking for no contact and a stay away. She also was candid with us and said she knows that the defendant's not going to follow the order of the court. We're asking for a $4,000 surety, Your Honor, to stay away from where she lives. Again, that's the Etheridge Court Apartments, specifically B312 at 2500 Center Street, to have no contact with her or her children and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, period. Thank you. And if you'd sound for Ms. Drew.
Ms. Drew, I think, is on. Ms. Drew, do you wish to address the court today?
Yes.
Now, let me tell you something. All right, I need you to put on a top or something to cover up your shoulders, and I need you to take the covering off of your head. You're in court. You're in a court of law. So turn your camera off and do that, and turn it back on in a minute if you wish to address the court.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Raise your right hand for me. Do you affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right. Put your hand down for me. Are you in fear of Mr. Breon Thomas?
Yes, and his family.
Okay. Do you want to have any further contact with him?
No, and I need my property returned that he has in custody. The police officer that arrested him were pleading that I was harassing him so he wouldn't give me my rest of my property. Breon has stolen previous things in the past, and it's just a cycle. His family, they're known for that. They have jumped me in August before because of his doings and sayings. I tried to avoid as much as possible with certain things, but when you're outnumbered and you have no family, it tends to outweigh the other. I don't want no contact. I just need him to get the help that he needs to eventually down the line see his kids, but no contact with me as well as ever. I would like my property as well.
Okay. I don't know specifically what properties you're talking about that he has with them, and I'm not going to get deep into that because there's not a lot that I could probably do about that. You'll have to seek your own attorney for that or speak to the victim witness advocate on your case. Because I don't know that I would order that. Are you talking about a cell phone? Are you talking about money? What are you talking about in
He only
general?
gave partial money back that was stolen.
Oh, he took some money from you?
Yeah, and then his family and him is doing devious deeds of trying to get my kids taken away because I won't no contact with him. He even gave the officers my name, and he even gave his ex my number. She called, sending text messages showing him of my apartment and my kids, saying that I was unfit, and I just fear for everything. And everyone knows I don't have no family in Georgia.
All right. Well, there's other measures you can take to resolve some of that or to at least get some protection from some of that. And, you know, some of that is a little bit out of my control at this moment. So please talk to the advocates and they can give you some advice about protective orders and things of that nature that you can take out that will help you. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for getting on. You can mute yourself and I'll listen to his attorney and then I'll give a ruling. All right, PD McLean or Murphy?
Your Honor, thank you. Breon Thomas is 26. he went to the 10th grade in high school, but he has worked in contracting to do demolitions and do yard work. And prior to that, he even worked for domestic cleaning for a outfit that does that. The PSA told me, the PSA that we had said that his last arrest was for an FTA in Cobb, but it was 2019. He doesn't live at Etheridge Court anymore, of course. He lives in a different zip code entirely. We would ask the court, and we are aware that he's got the $5,000 surety bond today on the cocaine charge, the possession of cocaine. I don't know if that's simple possession. It may be possession with intent. I'm not sure. But, Your Honor, he will he's asking the court, this is 8 months ago. The charges are what they are, and he is asking the court to consider the lowest possible bond, signature bond, if that is possible, but if it's not, a $1,000 or $2,000 surety bond.
Well, not for sure what it's going to take for Mr. Thomas to give some peace to the victim in this case. And I understand they may have children together, but they should be able to co-parent and raise them peacefully. So I'm going to order the $4,000 surety bond, $2,000 on each of the charges. I'm going to order no further contact with the victim in this case, Miss, and I'm sorry, I omitted her last name again.
It's Miss Drew.
Drew. No further contact with her. You'd stay 200 yards away from her. It was 2 football fields. And I'm going to order no further contact with the children right now. And to stay away from her residence and her employment or anywhere that she may be. Don't contact her by any of your family members. They should not have, family members or friends of yours should not have any contact with her. Everyone should leave her alone, including you, and stay away from her. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I think that is it. Anything else that I leave out, State?
Your Honor, if you would just make sure the defendant understands that no contact also means no third-party contact. So that means no contact from his family, his siblings, his parents. Those will all be considered violations of this bond.
Well,
Clearly, by his
won't
demeanor, you can
have-
tell he doesn't care, and that's why it's so important that his bond consider these.
Well, if I really just based on his demeanor, I should raise the bond, but we'll leave it at 4 right now. Ms. Drew, yes, you have a question? You're on mute. Can't hear you.
His actions are pretty much showing why we are having these issues. Like, it's constant. He has the same charge with my sister in 2019. That was the charge, domestic violence. You see, it's a constant repeat.
Have you ever had a protective order?
No.
Okay.
I was trying to make but now I see that.
Yeah, you need to speak to the victim witness advocate, and they can tell you where to go and how to do that. Because I think you all need to get those as well. You, your sister, whoever needs them. Make your children a part of those protective orders as well. And so talk to them about some other measures that they can maybe help you with, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Number 7, Morgan.
Who is this?
7, Morgan. 25 CR 001460C, Derek Morgan, charged with 2 counts of battery, family violence, and 2 counts of cruelty to the children in the 3rd degree. Pre-trial.
24. Got to open simple battery. That by taking 24 CR 006766J. Open simple battery 22 CR 000012C. On probation for criminal damage to property. That's out of Cobb County. 2025 probation, 2021 probation, a 2017 forgery conviction, and a 2016 FTA probation.
All right.
Yes,
You-
Judge. We're asking on count one, battery family violence, that $2,500 good bond. On count two, battery family violence, another $2,500 good bond. On the cruelty in the third, $1,000 good bond. And on that last cruelty in the third, $1,000 for a total of $7,000 total good bond with conditions no further contact with Deidre Gates and to stay away from 334 Betsy Avenue in Atlanta. This victim and the defendant share a child and were living together. The facts allege this victim was singing in the living room, which irritated the defendant. So she left the living room because she knows he had physically hurt her in the past and she was trying to avoid it now. She briefly returned to the living room to get a blanket, and this defendant punched her arm, pulled off her wig. She attempted to fight back, but she was thrown against a wall, punched several times in the head. She was able to get away with her two juvenile daughters who were present and witnessed the entire altercation. She had visible bruising to her arm and swelling to her head. You did hear he has two open simple battery family violence cases against this exact same victim from 2022. He received a $3,500 surety bond in that case. In 2024, another simple battery family violence against the same victim. He received a $1,000 surety bond in that case. And both cases include a no further contact, not no further violent contact, but no further contact. And he has clearly not followed either of those bond orders. And those bond amounts couldn't stop him. We did speak to the victim in this case. She confirmed we're in a relationship, that they live together. She confirmed the events in the warrant. She stated she does want contact because of the child, but it is the state's position that there should be no further contact just for her safety. I do believe Miss Gates is on the Zoom. She did indicate she would be on the Zoom. But based on all the facts as well as the history, we're asking for that 7,000 total good bond with conditions of no further contact and to stay away. If we could sound for Ms. Gates.
All right. Mr. Gates? You're on mute. Can't hear you.
I said, hey, how you doing, Judge Missy?
I'm fine. Do you wish to address the court today?
Yes. So
Right,
that
hold on,
really
hold on,
didn't
hold
take.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I have to swear you in first. Raise
Okay.
your right hand for me. Do you affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good. Put your hand down for me. Are you in fear of Mr. Morgan?
No, I'm not.
Do you want to have any further contact with Mr. Morgan?
Yes, I do. So when that incident took place, when it originally happened with the no contact, he did go and stay with his friend, which is his coworker, where he works now. And we ended up talking after like 3 weeks. And after that happened, I wasn't singing in the living room. Me and my daughters was in here twerking, and he called me a H word. And then I threw something at him because I told him stop calling me that.
Okay. And that was in January.
Yes,
Have you all been living together since January?
yes, ma'am. Like I said, after me and him made up, he left his coworker's house and came back here.
But he was under a no further contact order, correct?
Yes.
Well, my inclination is when they violate orders of this court or any court that we put them on a cash bond. And so I think ASG Tucker was being nice by asking for a good bond, but if you were on earlier, heard me in the other case, I don't give you a third chance on surety bonds that you continue to violate. And you all should be able to live peacefully, which seems like you can't. And I think one of your children belongs to him.
Yes.
And the children deserve to live peacefully. And if you can't co-parent, then you should just leave each other alone. So I'm not inclined to grant a good bond. I'm inclined to grant a cash bond. Because we want to see when is it going to stop.
Your
You know?
Honor, not to be rude, I work at night, so he's the only help I got. I don't have anyone else to help me, and that's why we lean on each other. So, him staying there is really putting me in a tough situation because I can't call my mama or my family, and he helps me with my bills. That's why I've started working at night and
Right.
like getting
But
fast.
but I just don't want you to be subjected. This will be the third case, right?
Yes, but like I said, that's more so because he's not calling on me. But he did that one time when I have a aggravated assault case against him because he called on me that time. He said he gonna make me feel how he feel.
Well, that doesn't sound like a person that respects you or loves you at all. And I'm here to tell you deserve better. Your children deserve better. And if he were here and had no priors and no other cases, it'd be different. But I think he's showing you who he is. So you need to make some hard, tough decisions. The victim witness advocates with the solicitor's office can give you some resources. But I'm going to give him.
Oh, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me let you present. I apologize. Go ahead,
Your Honor,
Mr.
Derek Morgan is 31 years old, but he's been in Georgia 18 years, so he's local. Your Honor, he works forklift driving at a warehouse. He's certified for that. He worked in various restaurants, including, three famous restaurants in Atlanta that we all know. But basically, he switched over to forklift driving with the certification to earn more money to help out with his kids and with everything. He would ask the court to consider the lowest bond possible. I did speak with a private lawyer today that was hired to do the Cobb matter, but he hasn't been hired yet on this. They intend to hire him on this, but they just haven't done it yet. So we're kind of working together to hire the lawyer. We would ask the court to consider the lowest possible bond. That lawyer, I think, probably would file for. Well, I'd be speculating. We'd ask the court to the lowest possible bond, Your Honor. Thank you.
My lowest possible bond is going to be a $4,000 cash bond, which is $1,000 on each of the charges, and no further contact with the victim, Deirdre Gates.
It's Deja.
I'm sorry, Deja. I
Yes,
apologize.
it's okay.
Spell it DEJ.
DEJ.
I see it on the screen. Okay, with Deja Gates. I'm going to ask them to have no further contact right now and to stay away, so that he can understand that this should be the last time or no more that he should hurt or harm any woman. And stay away from her address. If it's Betsy Avenue, wherever she lives and wherever she works. He's just be 200 yards away from her, which is 2 football fields away. He is not to live with her. And there's things and other resources you can get to keep your child in the evenings and at night. He's not to contact her via third parties or other family members, relatives, or friends. No cell phone, no emails. I'm also going to order, I don't know if he has any items at this location, a one-time police escort if he gets out, and he can go over there with the police escort to get any items that he may have at that location. Gonna order no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. Need to make sure that Mr. Morgan understands that he needs to stop. Too many family violence cases. I don't know, Mr. Morgan, if your attorney's going to want you to say anything. It's probably wise that you don't, unless you have a question about the specifics of your bond.
Yes, ma'am, I do. I was wondering if you can give me a surety bond because I can't pay $4,000 cash, or you can raise my bond to make it a surety.
Well, if I made it a surety, I'd make it 40,000. But it'll be a very high surety bond. You've been on surety bonds before and you broke them and you violated them. Maybe you can say 3 times a charm, but I'm not impressed. Your history's terrible. You got 24 cycles or 24 arrests, and you've been on bond before, some very low ones. Even if I make it high, you can still get out and then go and assault Miss Morgan, and that's what I don't want to happen. So right now, I'm going to leave you on the 4,000 cash bond.
My next question is, when is my court date, if I have one?
Yes, it'll be April the 2nd, I believe it is. Let's see. No, April 3rd.
April 3rd.
Yeah, April 3rd.
2 weeks.
Right.
All right. Thank you.
Gonna go with position 4, Hamilton.
All right. Thank you.
Judge.
Yes.
Judge, I got Courtney Harris, and then not trying to butt in front of Mr. McLean. Courtney Harris.
Can we get Mr. Murphy out of his car and have and last? But actually, it's kind of a cool day. It's not as hot, but you might be in the sun. Deputy, is there a way to do Courtney Harris?
Well, he's client waived, so it's not in the courtroom. That's why I was doing the people that was
Yeah, Judge, I'd waived his presence because I spoke to him briefly. And he was ill.
So, it's a waiver. I'm sorry, I didn't understand it was a waiver. Can we do that real quick while Mr. Who is this again in front of me?
Hamilton. I don't care. It don't matter who we do first.
Okay. All right. We'll do yours first if everyone doesn't mind. 25 CR 0014662G, Courtney Harris, 1 count of battery, family violence.
Judge, and I thought he was picked up on a hold. The officer had seen him, and then I guess he picked up a marijuana charge. Once they got him in custody, they found marijuana on him. So
I see.
I think
purchase
5 CR cases, the marijuana charge, I believe.
Yeah, I see that. I believe pretrial. I think he has what?
You said Harris,
22.
22 total. Now he got open drug charges on probation for ag assault, 19 SC 168,990, and several probation violations, 2011 ag assault conviction.
Okay.
The judge, he's going to be occupied for a moment if the court would consider a signature bond as to this particular charge.
Your Honor, based on the facts, so on February 24, 2025, Officer Brown responded to a fight at 850 Oak Street Southwest, Atlanta, Georgia. Upon arrival, the victim, which is Janaya Nelly, informed Officer Brown about a fight between her and her ex-boyfriend, Mr. Harris, which is the defendant in this case. The victim and the defendant were meeting up to hang out that day. The victim had her baby with her. While they were all in the defendant's car, they got into a fight. The victim asked the defendant to drive her back to her car, and he did, but on the way they kept arguing. When she tried to get into her car, the defendant struck her, and this caused some injuries to her hand. The victim was able to lock herself and her baby inside the vehicle. By the time Officer Brown arrived, the defendant had left the location. Because of his priors and the facts in this case, the state is asking for a 4,000 surety bond, no contact with Ms. Neely, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons on bond. The reason for the recommendation and why we think a surety bond is appropriate is the fact that the defendant has prior felony convictions for violence against others and the recent probation violation.
All right. Go ahead, Mr. Murphy.
Judge, I would only add that My client has no children with Miss Neely. She doesn't work with her, and they were not living together. My client has family in Madison, Georgia. I spoke to his mother. He could certainly stay with her upon his release, but he certainly will stay away from Miss Neely if you allow a fair bond under the circumstances, Your Honor.
Don't like his history. I'm going to order the $4,000 surety bond. No further contact with Miss Neely. Stay away from incident location or anywhere that she may live or work. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I think that'll be it.
Duly noted. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, this is Mr. Hampton.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 25, this is number 4. 25 CR 001467D, Kenneth Hampton, charged at 1 count of criminal trespass, 2nd count possession and use of drug-related objects. Pre-trial?
My apologies. What you say, Judge?
Position 4, Hampton, Kenneth Hampton.
33. On probation for terrorist threats. 21 SC 179346. On probation in Clayton County, possession of meth with intent. 2023, 2024, 2022 probation. 2017 theft by taking conviction. 2016 tampering with evidence, possession of a firearm by convicted felon or felony first offender conviction. 2 trespass convictions from 2015, 1 2015 trespass nolo.
Okay.
Your Honor, that's my case. This is a bind over out of Union City, I believe. When I reviewed the criminal history, the defendant was arrested in 2023 for criminal trespass at the same location, and that was dismissed at first appearance. This is an incident from the 13th of March, 2025 at about 1:45 p.m. Police were called to the Garden Inn Motel, that's 6701 Shannon Parkway in Union City. On scene, an employee at the location reported that this is a gentleman that's known to them. He's been previously criminally trespassed, and the most recent issue was February the 11th of 2025. So after he was arrested for criminally trespassing there in 2023, having that case dismissed, he's now going back. On scene, police arrested the defendant, and search incident to arrest found a glass pipe in his left front pocket, Your Honor. We're asking for a $2,000 surety to stay away from that location, have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and we'd request a social worker visit. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Hampton is 42 years old, and he has been here in Georgia for more than 11 years, Your Honor. He does have family. He is currently residing with his auntie. He does have odd jobs here and there, trying to find a more stable job right now. And he also has a special medical condition that needs attention. Your Honor, he has been in jail ever since March 13. It's been already 7 days. We would like to ask for maybe time served or a signature on bond through pretrial level 3, so that way he can get back to where he was and start his job.
Just for clarification, this gentleman has not been in the Fulton County Jail since March the 13th. This is not a Riverside issue, and there's no reason why he should get a SOB bond based on his arrest and bind over here, Your Honor. He does have, you heard about his convictions out of Clayton County. He's under a 14-year sentence for possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. He's got multiple felony convictions out of South Carolina, including forgery, robbery, burglary, and armed robbery. He has multiple felony convictions for drugs as well as multiple criminal trespass convictions. And he's on probation right now here in Fulton County for felony terroristic threats.
Yeah, I'm sorry, PD Kim. I could not give him a signature bond. But I will go with the state's recommendation of a 2,000 surety, 1,000 on each of the charges. Is to stay away from that. Is it Garden Inn Motel? Is that what you said? Okay. Stay away from there. No further, well, I guess no further contact with any employees, but stay away from the hotel in Union City. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I don't know, your client has a question, Mr. McLean.
Mr. Hampton,
Sorry.
you have a right to remain silent. I strongly recommend you to stay silent. If you want to waive your right, yeah, you can talk, but please do not mention anything about the facts of the case.
What's your question, Mr. Hampton?
I've been locked up in East Point Jail for the past 7 days, waiting to get bonded over here.
Right. So that's not in my control, and that doesn't count toward the Riverside issue. Have to be in
I can't make the bond because my family said they're not paying the bond. So
I may see why they won't pay it, because you've got a long history.
yeah, but I haven't been causing any trouble. I ain't been talking no guns. I ain't been carrying no guns. I don't do none of that. I haven't been straightforward. I just call a criminal trespassing charge. That's it.
Yeah, but the criminal trespass adds up to 33 cycles. You've been arrested 33 times.
I understand it, but
so I don't know about not causing any trouble, but you certainly gotten in trouble. Now it looks like you may have a drug issue that you need to address.
So when is my next court date? Because I'm not making the bond.
Your next court date is April 3rd.
So it consists of getting out.
Does it what now?
That consists of me getting out on my next court date.
Oh, I can't tell you that. I don't know. You got to talk to your attorney about it, but you will come up for review on April the 3rd.
So I'm gonna be here till April 3rd again.
Unless someone bonds you out.
Not getting bonded out.
Okay. Well, as they say, stop getting in trouble. You won't be back here. Stay away from where you're supposed to stay away from. Because I think you had already been arrested there, February the 11th? So you already knew not to go there. So I don't know why you went back. Or why people go back and think they won't be arrested. You've already been told not to come back. People mean what they say. So we'll see you on the 3rd, 2,000 surety. That it? Or did somebody get out? I thought I had one more.
Position number 8.
Position,
Right, Morrow.
posted bond before court started.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, and I think that completes the calendar.
Mhm.
If we're ready to go over the calendar, I am ready. Once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is April the 3rd. Position number 1 is reset further notice with a $7,500 SOB through the jail. Position 2 is reset further notice with a total $2,000 SOB through pretrial. 3 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $2,000 good bond. 4 is going to the SAP calendar with a $2,000 total good bond. 5 is going to the SAP calendar with a $4,000 good bond. 6 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $7,500 cash bond. 7, SAP calendar with a total $4,000 cash bond. 8 is reset further notice as the defendant has been released. 9 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 10 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. 11 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $4,000 good bond. And 12 is reset further notice with a total $2,500 SOB through pretrial per judge. Are there any questions, comments, or otherwise?
No, ma'am, I think you got it all.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
All
you.
right, bye. All right, take
Bye-bye.
care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.